This place sits at over 3,600 meters above sea level, yet is the flattest surface on the entire planet. You're standing in the middle of the Salar de Uyuni in Bolivia, a vast, blinding expanse of white salt that stretches for over 10,000 square kilometers. It is, quite simply, a paradox of nature. It's a desert that looks like a frozen ocean, a place where the horizon vanishes and the sky reflects perfectly on the ground during the rainy season. Imagine walking on a mirror that spans as far as the eye can see, where the distinction between heaven and earth is erased. Every step you take feels like you're walking on clouds, suspended in a void of infinite light. It's quiet here, a silence so profound it feels heavy, broken only by the rhythmic, sharp crunch of hexagonal salt crystals snapping under your heavy boots. You're not just visiting a landscape, you're entering a different dimension of the Earth's crust, a realm that feels entirely detached from the pace of the modern world. The Salar de Uyuni was formed by the complex, slow-motion transformation of several prehistoric lakes. Around 40,000 years ago, this entire region was part of Lake Minchin, a massive, deep body of water that once dominated the Altiplano Plateau. As the climate shifted and the region became more arid, the lake began to evaporate, eventually leaving behind this thick, multi-layered crust of salt and mineral-rich brine. Scientists estimate it holds over 10 billion tons of salt, but it is the lithium concentration that currently holds the world's attention, accounting for nearly half of the world's known supply. It's a surreal, blindingly white expanse that challenges your depth perception in ways that can be physically disorienting. You look at a distant mountain, and it seems to hover, detaching from the base of the horizon to float in the air. The light here is different. It's intense, unfiltered, and unforgiving. If you spend too much time on the flats without high-grade protection, the ultraviolet radiation reflected off the salt will burn your skin in minutes, and the glare can cause temporary snow blindness. It's a place that demands respect, meticulous preparation, and a healthy dose of humility. You are miles away from civilization, surrounded by nothing but the white crust and the occasional island of giant cacti that rise from the salt like ancient, emerald-colored guardians. These islands, such as the famous Incahuasi, are actually the craggy tops of ancient volcanoes that were submerged long ago when the waters were deep. They are covered in towering trichocereus cacti that grow at a notoriously slow rate, often only 1 centimeter per year, with some standing over 10 meters tall. Think about that for a moment. These silent, prickly giants have been watching the salt flats for centuries, witnessing the slow shift of seasons while remaining rooted in the volcanic rock. They are the only vertical relief in a world obsessed with the horizontal. Now let's talk about the unique experience of where you sleep in a place made entirely of salt. Yes, you heard that right. Hotels built entirely from blocks of salt. You walk into the lobby, and the walls, the furniture, the reception desk, and even the frames of the beds are carved from the very ground beneath your feet. It's a unique form of luxury travel that feels both primitive and sophisticated. These structures aren't just a clever tourist gimmick. They are a testament to human ingenuity in an environment where traditional building materials like wood or stone are incredibly scarce and expensive to transport. You wake up in a room where the temperature is kept remarkably stable by the high thermal mass of the salt blocks. The air is dry and crisp, smelling faintly of minerals, an olfactory reminder of the ancient sea that once stood here. At night, the temperature outside drops drastically, sometimes plummeting well below freezing. But inside the salt walls, there's a strange, cozy warmth that persists. It's an immersive experience that forces you to disconnect from the digital noise, the constant notifications, and the frantic pace of your life back home, allowing you to reconnect with the raw, elemental nature of the Andean highlands. You're dining on local cuisine, perhaps a hearty quinoa soup or a cut of llama meat, while sitting on a chair carved from a salt brick. It's a stark, powerful reminder that humanity can adapt to even the most alien-looking environments on this planet. But getting to these remote salt hotels is an adventure in itself. The roads leading to the Salar are certainly not for the faint of heart. We're talking about unpaved corrugated tracks that wind through the rugged, high-altitude terrain of the Altiplano. You're bouncing in a 4x4, the dust kicking up in thick, choking clouds behind you as you navigate paths that have no signs, no markers, and absolutely no guardrails. One wrong turn, and you're effectively stranded in the middle of a desert that sees very little traffic. The altitude adds another layer of tension to this journey. As you climb higher, the air thins and the oxygen levels drop significantly. You might feel a dull, throbbing headache, a tightness in your chest, or a strange sense of lethargy that makes every movement feel like you're wading through water. This is Surreal, altitude sickness. It's the constant, nagging companion of every traveler in this region. You learn to move slowly, to breathe deeply, and to respect the fragile limits of your own body. The local guides, who have driven these treacherous routes for decades, have an uncanny, almost supernatural ability to read the landscape. They don't need GPS. They track the sun, the wind, and the subtle, nearly invisible changes in the ground texture. They tell stories of the mountains, which they view as living deities, or apis. For them, these dangerous roads are not just paths, they are ancient connections between communities that have existed here for thousands of years. They know exactly where the hidden sinkholes are and which tracks are prone to flooding during the short but intense rainy season, when the salt flats turn into a shallow, treacherous lake. It's a high-stakes game of navigation, where experience is the only thing standing between you and a stranded vehicle in the middle of nowhere, miles from any town. The altitude here isn't just a physical challenge, it's a psychological one. When you're at 4,000 meters, your brain processes information differently. The colors seem more vibrant, the stars at night are so bright they look like they're about to fall on you, and the sense of isolation is absolute. You're standing on the roof of the world, looking down at a basin that holds the secrets of the Earth's climate history. The indigenous people who live in the surrounding villages have a profound, unbreakable connection to this land. They are the descendants of the Aymara and Quechua civilizations, and their culture is deeply intertwined with the harsh geography of the Altiplano. They don't see the salt flats as a tourist destination. They see them as a vital resource and a sacred place. They harvest the salt, they manage their camelid livestock, and they maintain the traditions that have survived colonial occupation, political upheaval, and modern industrialization. Their music, their colorful textiles, and their intricate ceremonies are all reflections of a life lived in harmony with a harsh, unforgiving environment. When you talk to them, you realize that their understanding of the world is based on cycles: the cycle of the rain, the cycle of the harvest, and the cycle of the stars. It's a perspective that makes our fast-paced, modern lives feel shallow, frantic, and disconnected. They teach you that silence isn't empty, it's full of meaning. They teach you that wealth isn't about what you own, but about your relationship with your community and the earth. As you watch an elderly woman weaving a blanket with patterns that tell the history of her ancestors, you realize that you're witnessing a culture that has mastered the art of survival in one of the most extreme environments on Earth. And yet this place is changing rapidly. The demand for lithium, the so-called white gold, stored beneath the salt, is bringing global attention and new industrial pressures to the region. The question of how to balance economic development with the preservation of this unique, fragile landscape is becoming the central, simmering tension of the Altiplano. You walk back out onto the salt crust as the sun begins to set. The sky turns into a canvas of deep, bruised purples, fiery oranges, and soft, ethereal pinks, all mirrored perfectly in the thin layer of water on the ground. It's a sight that defies description, a moment of pure, unadulterated awe. You feel small, humbled, and completely overwhelmed by the beauty of it all. But as you look toward the horizon, you notice something strange. There's a faint, rhythmic humming sound coming from the direction of the distant, snow-capped volcanoes, a sound that isn't caused by the wind, and it isn't mentioned in any guidebook. It's a low-frequency vibration that you feel in your chest more than you hear with your ears. You look at your guide, but they are suddenly busy with the vehicle, pointedly avoiding your gaze. What lies buried beneath those peaks that the locals refuse to talk about? Why do the birds suddenly stop singing whenever the sound starts to fade, leaving the air heavy and expectant? There are secrets buried in the salt, echoes of a history that the land is not yet ready to share with the outside world. As the last sliver of light disappears, you realize that while you came here to see the surface, you have only just begun to scratch at the mystery of what lies beneath. The silence of the Salar is no longer just peaceful. It feels like a held breath, waiting for something or someone to finally break the seal on the secrets of the Altiplano. You turn back toward the Salt Hotel, your boots crunching against the crust, but every shadow now seems to carry the weight of 1,000 years of silence, and you can't help but wonder if the salt is actually keeping a record of everything that has ever happened here. You are a guest on a landscape that is far older, far deeper, and far more mysterious than any brochure could ever convey. As you retreat into the safety of your salt-walled room, the humming